Into the top development, the Ministry of Home Affairs has issued a nationwide advisory to several states to conduct civil defense mock drills on May 7th, aimed at preparing for emergency situations, especially those involving hostile attacks. The measures actually include operationalizing air raid warning sirens in vulnerable zones, blackouts in designated areas, training for civilians and students on how to respond during a hostile attack, camouflaging key installations and also plants, and updating the rehearsing evacuation plans for high-risk regions. Now, these mock drills are aimed at testing both response time as well as coordination between security agencies, local authorities and general public in the event of an actual emergency. Government sources say the drills are part of a broader effort to enhance national preparedness in light of evolving global threats. So, a big breaking news has come in. A big decision has been taken by Ministry of Home Affairs. They have issued a nationwide advisory to multiple states to now conduct civil defense mock drills tomorrow, which is May 7th, which is clearly aimed at preparing for emergency situations, especially those involving hostile attack. It does not only include the general civilians, but a lot of them, operationalizing the air raid warning sirens in vulnerable zones, specifically around the border areas, crash blackouts in designated areas as well, training for civilians and students, like we just said, on how exactly to respond during a hostile attack if it happens, camouflaging the key installations and also plant, updating all the rehearsing evacuation plans for any high-risk regions for any untoward situation. These mock drills, in fact, are aimed at testing both response time as well as the coordination between security agencies, the local authorities and the general public in the event of an actual emergency. And also with the growing tensions between India and Pakistan, these drills become even more important. Government sources say the drills are part of a broader effort to enhance national preparedness in light of the evolving global threats. So, a nationwide drill has been ordered for tomorrow. Some key measures are going to be followed by multiple states across the nation. The Union Home Ministry, in fact, has asked all the states to conduct mock drills across the 244 categorized civil defense districts tomorrow on Wednesday, May 7th, ladies and gentlemen, in view of the new and complex threats that have emerged in the current geopolitical scenario. Remember, this order has come in amidst the light of a series of meetings which were held by the Prime Minister himself, along with the NSA, Ajit Doval, along with Defence Minister, and multiple meetings that the Prime Minister held with army chiefs in the past couple of weeks. So these are some of the measures which are going to be taken as we will be looking at the mock drills happening from tomorrow onwards, operationalizing air raid warning sirens in vulnerable zones, crash blackouts in designated areas, training for civilians and students on how to respond during a hostile attack, also camouflaging the key installations and plants, and also updating and rehearsing the evacuation plans for high-risk regions. Like we said, as per the advisory that has come in from Ministry of Home Affairs, these mock drills are going to be aimed at testing both the response time, the preparedness, the coordination between the security agencies, the local authorities and the general public in event of an actual emergency. In fact, the government sources have informed us that the drills are part of a broader effort to enhance national preparedness in light of the evolving global threats and also the current geopolitical situation of the country. We in fact discussed this in brief. My colleague Karthikeya Sharma sat down with a panel of guests to discuss this further. Let's take a look at that.
Thank you so much for joining me. So what do you make? What do you make of the directives of the Ministry of Home Affairs to the various state governments, preparation for air raid sirens, a preparation made for event of a hostile attack? Let me just take you through it, sir, because I need your comment on this. Operationalization of air raid warning system, training of civilian students on the civil defense aspects to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack, provision of crash blackout measures, provision for early camouflaging of vital plants, installation, updation of evacuation plan and its rehearsal, sir. Your comment, sir.
See, when we are taking or planning to take any action against Pakistan, we have to calculate the entire escalation dynamics. And in that escalation dynamics, war can also be an option or can also be a situation. So therefore, even in earlier wars, to minimize civilian casualties, it is better that the civilians are prepared because not all the aircrafts of Pakistan have night vision devices. So if you are trained in blackouts, that means identification of target becomes difficult. If you are at the same time, when at war, it is also anticipated that Pakistan will activate all its sleeper cells, which is called as fourth generation warfare. Now, if that be so, then civilians should be able to protect, and everybody should be able to protect the installations, their homes as well. If earlier wars, if you recall, I mean, you may not be there because maybe you may be too young, but we recall that there used to be night patrolling by civilians in various areas to ensure that these sleeper cells can't act at a wrong time, at a wrong place. Because every corner of the country cannot be covered by security forces. So these are the drills and mock drills. In case they say something happens, a bomb blast takes place at some certain place, how do you do the evacuation? So evacuation drills have become important. So all these are basically preparing the country and the people of the entire country for a situation which may be unpleasant, but at the same time, better prepared we are, we will minimize our casualties and damages. And I think that's a big statement in a manner that we are very clear that irrespective of what level of escalation Pakistan wants, we will be prepared for every kind of level of escalation to give them a befitting response in every domain, whatever domain they wish to choose.
Sir, is it correct that such measures have been taken for the first time after 1971, sir?
I don't think such measures were taken during Kargil war, but 1971.
I remember, sir, no such measures during Kargil war, sir.
Yeah, about 1971, certainly such measures were taken. And 1971, I must also recall for all your viewers that initially there was a public pressure to go for operations immediately. And General Manik Shah, he resented that pressure. He said, no, we should go fully prepared. And then he calculated all other things, with whether logistics, availability of trains, weather, because in the marshy weather, the tank columns may not be that effective and all that. So he calculated everything, and then he made sure that okay, we go in for after 6 months.